So as we continue on in the different types of health data sources and their uses that are out there, one of them is the National Electronic Injury Surveillance System, which I've seen used in various publications from public health and environmental health, occupational health, industrial hygiene. And this is a federally run program from the Consumer Product Safety Commission, and it gives you some information about what's in here. There's various listings that are in here of things. We're going to access NEISS, and we're going to tell it that we're researchers in this case, and we can look at 2020, 2019. We can get an overview where they give you the highlights, and then we can also dig deeper into the actual data. So these are some of their highlights based upon what's up and down for causing injuries. And the number one thing here for injuries in the sports and recreational equipment, we see 238,000 estimated injuries from ATVs, mopeds, and mini bikes, 375,000 from bicycles, exercise equipment, 409,000 estimated injuries. The actual total number of injuries in which were reported through their system, which they have got a reporting system that gathers information, based upon like what was treated in hospital emergency departments that are actually reported to them, and they've got a means for being able to extrapolate that to the country. And you also see, who on these ATVs and mopeds were getting hurt the most in terms of which demographic. Now these are total injuries, so you don't necessarily have the population adjustments. You'd have to gather that population information elsewhere. But clothing causes all kinds of injuries, 362,000 injuries per year. Cans and other containers, a lot of things cause injuries. Workshop tools, so you can scroll through that and see which ones cause the most. Ladders are still, dangerous. Bathroom structures, beds, mattresses, and pillows, chairs, sofas, and sofa beds. I mean, hundreds of thousands of injuries associated with these things. Now, that's not particularly helpful from a research perspective. I mean, some of that is, but we can actually build our own query. We can also look back in time to look at how things have changed in 2002 versus 2021 for some particular thing. Like you could be looking at chainsaw injuries or ATV injuries. Have they went up? More people buying ATVs? Are they being more reckless? With chainsaw injuries, are there more of them because of maybe climate change and more infestations, more natural disasters, so more people getting cut, more home improvement projects? So you can look and do comparisons that are ecologic studies based upon looking at the U.S. population over years. You can also FOIA request CPSC and potentially find out if they can provide you information at the state level. So we can just pick on something like, in this case we got home maintenance. So if we pick on yard and garden, so we'll pick on yard and garden and look at chainsaws. And chainsaws are coded as 1411 in this system. And we can look at all ages, all genders, where they were cut, or just leave it at everything, head or neck. We'll just leave it at everything. All possible types of injuries. There are different types of injuries associated with the chainsaw. I mean, it could be that, while they were using it, it led to them doing something that led to them being hurt. I'm not for sure. So, but we'll just leave it at chainsaws in general. We can download it in an Excel format. I'm just going to submit the query. This is for 2021. You could do this. So here's the number of estimates: 21,162 chainsaw-related injuries treated in the United States emergency departments. You could actually compare that going back every year for the last 20 years to see is that increasing or not. You can also use this system to do more than just look at it that level. We can also look at the actual kind of I'd say the story around it. So as we look at the story around it, we can go to research and reports, and they'll use the Clearinghouse online query tool. And as we go from there, we can try to learn a little bit more. So we'll say researcher, format, build a query here this way, and then we can actually pick multiple years. We'll just do this particular year, and then it used to actually make you enter the actual code. There's a variety of these that are out there. I'm going to go to chainsaws again, and then we got age, state. So if you want to like compare like Kentucky and West Virginia or something like that, for example, we can, or combine them. And I'm just going to submit the query, and this type of information has been used. So we can view the first 50 or 30 incidents, or we can look at everything. So, and I don't know what the heat map is, so this one's new to me. So this is where we've made this for the United States. So we can see here that Kentucky is like hotter than West Virginia on chainsaw injuries, but I don't know if these are population adjusted, so that's not of much particular help there. But there's other ways of using this information. When we export the result to Excel, we can read about these incidents. So what was going on at various times. So it's I think trying to download, or it has downloaded it, and it's just at the bottom of my screen. So there it is. So it's put them in a zip folder. So I'll have to open up this zip folder, and then I'm going to open up the Excel sheet. I'm doing that on my other screen, and as I do it, I'll bring the Excel sheet up. So here we go. So this is Kentucky and West Virginia. You could sort it all different ways. This looks to be, I think, everything, rather than what I was looking for, with it just being limited to chainsaws. But there is a way to limit it to just chainsaws, and you get all this information about it. You know the gender, or the sex of the person, male, female, unknown, unspecified. We know the age. Sometimes you get the story about whatever happened. So this was about somebody 6 years old hurt using his hoverboard. A lot of information that is available from that particular website. So I'm not for sure what I had initially queried. I thought I had initially queried the chainsaws, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I did all products, yard and garden, and I needed to drag that over. So when I do that and I submit the query, it might be more specific to actually chainsaws. So apparently now when I pull over chainsaws in 2021, there were no incidents apparently found. So I'm not for sure. You'd have to play around with this website. Really cool information that's out there for you to be able to consider to use. I know people have used it to look at how four-wheeler injuries have increased in West Virginia over a couple decade period of time, and that led to petitioners advocating to the state government to mandate, like, at least children and people wear helmets when they're using those, to reduce the amount of ER visits and mortality associated with that presumably recreational activity. So I'm going to stop here. So that's the Consumer Product Safety Commission's NEISS, National Electronic Injury Surveillance System.